exactly the same material as I did on Monday for the vintage show, because back in the day I did the same material every night anyway, so it really shouldn't matter. So I want to take it back to 2008, ladies and gentlemen. In 2008, there was a worldwide recession. The English government was about to bring in a countrywide smoking ban. And at that point, my girlfriend at the time decided that would be a good time to open up a music and comedy club. Duh. Anyway, she opened up a music and comedy club. We put on acts, we put on comedy virgins, we put on acts performing material for the first time, acts who'd never performed before. We didn't know what it was going to be like. We started off, we did it once a month, and eventually we ended up doing it about 400 times a week. With over 5 million comedians performing every night. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is the Comedy Concentrate. We found 8 comics from back in the day, and they're going to perform round about a minute and a half of concentrated comedy just for you. If you're watching on YouTube, I need you to join in. I'm feeling, basically, I'm stood here shouting at an iPhone sellotape to a hat stand. I've got no audience, so I need you to help me. What I need you to do, I need you to type some messages. I'm going to have a look down here. Callum Bignall's watching. That's good. He said greetings to everybody. Send us messages if you're watching. Give us some claps. Give us some thumbs up. That way, it'll feel real. I won't feel lonely. We've also got the comedians to see. We're going to have a little look at them now. Shirley's with them in the dressing room. Let's have a look at the guys, Shirley. Let's have a big wave for all the comedians that are performing tonight. Come on, guys, give us a wave. Let's see those waves. There they are. They're the people that we've dug up from 2008. And they're going to perform for you tonight. Are you ready? Comedians, everybody, let me hear a big yeah. Woo. Yeah!
Yes!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah! They're nearly ready, they're nearly awake, they're nearly alive. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get them on stage. Let's welcome to the stage at the Cavendish Arms, the first comedian of the night. Please, clapping, cheering, shouting, whooping, make as much noise as you possibly can. Welcome to the stage, the fabulous, amazing, the brilliant, the wonderful, Mr. Robert Thomas.
Hello, it's Rob here. So lockdown has got me thinking about the last holiday I had. We went camping with the whole family, went to the Yorkshire Dales, and it was the first time that I came across what's called an honesty shop. I don't know, a few people have heard of this, may not have heard of an honesty shop. Basically, it's all about honesty. So there's no staff, there's nobody in there, it's all honesty. And I went in and they had all sorts of knickknacks and bits and bobs and trinkets and so on. But in the corner of the room was the honesty box. And there it was, it had a little slot on top. And so I put a note in that said, all your stuff is shit. Yeah, they asked for it. Comedy, of course, I started at the Cavendish, and I like to watch other comedians, and I saw an amazing comedian the other day, a big name comedian. I won't say who it was, but big name comedian. And they did what I can honestly say is one of the best routines I've ever seen. And I'm going to tell you, bear with me, I'll tell you about the routine. And it was a routine, it was observational comedy, and it was about when people say the phrase, oh, I guess you had to be there. You know that when people say, oh, you had to be there. It was about that, and it was absolutely hilarious the way this guy did. He basically started by deconstructing it. He deconstructed the circumstances that would lead to people saying, oh, you had to be there. E.g., someone remembers a funny anecdote or a joke and starts telling it to some people. And then, of course, those people start smiling and nodding expectantly. You know, this is going to be a good joke. But as the anecdote goes on, obviously this is the comedian saying this, not me. This is me telling you about. As it goes on, the teller realizes that he's not telling it like as well as he thought he would, and it's not coming across as funny as he thought it would. And yeah, this comedian had some like really funny, cool angles on that, and some funny ideas about the way the storyteller kind of struggles as he gets to the end of the story, and he has to say, like, you had to be there at the end to essentially salvage what has become a poorly told anecdote. It was so good. It was so good, like the way the comedian put it and everything. Obviously, I've not remembered everything the exact way he said it, but yeah, it was really, really funny. I hate the banks. The banks are awful, aren't they? And they rub it in. They rub it in, the banks, don't they? For example, have you noticed that banks, they build every single cash machine right next to some poor homeless person's patch? That's it. That's my time. Love you all. Love you all.
Come on, give her a round of applause. Happy Jerry Charlie. If you're watching on YouTube, type in a message, give her a thumbs up, give him a clap. Let me know what you think. Come on, get involved. Don't just sit there. It's time to get the next action. We're going to do that by blurring our hands. Come on, comedians. Get your hands moving so fast that they're blurring. Come on. You can go as fast as me. Come on, let them go. Let them go. Fast as you can. Really quick. Cheering and shouting and whooping. Please welcome to the stage. The fabulous, the amazing, the brilliant, the wonderful, the amazing, the brilliant, the wonderful, the amazing, brilliant, Mr. Ali Bryce.
Ali. Yes.
Hi, some material from the Cavendish Arms days. The other day, I was abroad on a golf course in a Land Rover, abroad on a golf course in a Land Rover when an environmentalist came up to me and said, "What are you driving a 4x4 for?" And I said, "I'll stop you there. It's not a 4x4 for, it's just a 4x4. And she said, "I know it's a 4x4, not a 4x4 for. If I thought it was a 4x4 for, I would have said, what are you driving a 4x4 for?" And I said, "No, it's not a 4x4 for or a 4x4 for. It's just a 4x4. And at that moment, 4 golfers, remember, we're on a golf course, 4 golfers, each in plus 4, so 4 balls in our direction, and alerted us to the danger by shouting 4. Well, I turned around and said, "What did you do that for?" Just as the 4th of the 4 balls hit the environmentalist square in the forehead and sheeted the floor. Well, the 4th golfer saw that. He couldn't handle it. He fainted. That left 4 of us, but only 3 in plus 4s. Well, at this moment, I got out my 4x4. I started walking away. One of the golfers piped up, said, "Mate, what are you leaving your 4x4 for?" I said, "Not you as well." 4x4. It's just a 4x4. And he said, "All right, calm down, mate. I know it's a 4x4, not a 4x4. It's a 4x4 parked across hole 4. It's a par 4, and I'm winning. I've never done that before." I said, "Look, I'm off for 40 wins. I'll be back at 4. Well, he was livid. He came charging at me. He had rage all in his eyes. I thought, I'm done for. But I remembered my training, and I got out my mobile phone. I dialed +44, international dialing code for the UK. Remember, we're abroad in this story. I dialed +44. I got on to government headquarters. Quarters. And they said, "What's the problem?" I said, "I'm stuck in the Fortnightmare again." And they said, "Don't worry, help is on its way." But who did they send? The famous 5. Odor eaters. Odor eaters. Odor eaters. Oh, Doritos. Odor eaters. Odor eaters. Oh, Doritos. Thank you for having me. I've been Ali Bryce. Buy me a drink.
If you're watching at home, send him a message. Let him know what you think. Come on. Thumbs up, clapping, cheering, shouting, whooping, via the medium of typing if you can. Come on, let him know. Don't be passive. Don't just sit there. Let Ali know what you think of him, because he needs to know, don't you, Ali?
Yes, please. I need feedback.
He does. He needs feedback. He just said it. Okay, we're going to get the next act on. Here we go. Start the clapping. Start the cheering. And I want you to throw in just a smattering of whooping for me, ladies and gentlemen. As we welcome to the stage, Mr. PACO. ERHARD. Here he is.
How you doing, everybody? This is the first gig I've ever had where I tell the compere, "Can you light me 2 minutes before the end?" And they'll say, "Well, I'll light you 30 seconds before you go on then." So if I get the timekeeping a little bit wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm shit at being German, as you all know. You know, for anybody out there who doesn't know, yes, I'm German, but I'm just not practicing German. So Cavendish Arms, that's how I started back then. And things went well for me. I moved up. I did Edinburgh with Freestival, which Dan remembers partly. And then I had to leave Britain. I'm sorry. I had to leave Britain because it was either leaving Britain or printing business cards saying, PACO ERHARD. When Henning is too expensive. So that was obviously not what I wanted. So I left. I couldn't know that all you fuckers, Britain, that you'd leave too. Like, the fuck was that? Brexit, you idiots. I'm sorry, but back then the campaign, what the fuck was that? It's like, to be honest, I could understand to some degree, because back then people say, oh, you know, all those Europeans, they come to the country and they steal all the jobs. And, you know, I lived in London till 2015. So, you know, I could kind of understand, because back then, whatever bar you went to in London, all the baristas, you know, all Spanish people. You go to any cafe, all the baristas, you know, all Spanish. And I have to say, honestly, I mean, they come to Great Britain, take jobs away from hard-working Australians. I don't think it's right. Right. One last piece of advice that I have is the following. You know, it's kind of tough times, and recently sussed something out. People have asked me why I'm such a sunshine. They don't. I can see it in their eyes. But sometimes I've been as like, well, how do you keep your faith in humanity in times like these? Like, how do you stay happy? How do you keep your faith in humanity? And I think actually I found a way. I found a secret, so to speak. I think if you want to keep your faith in humanity, you have to make sure to systematically avoid people. That's it. Nothing fucks up your faith in humanity like fucking people. So with Corona, I guess we're all doing pretty well then. But, you know, then there's Facebook and everything is fucked again. All right, I think that's way more than my time, I guess. I don't know. So thanks a lot.
Yay! If there's anybody there, type him a message, send him some claps, send him some love, send him some thumbs up. It's time for us to get another act onto the stage. We're going to do that once again through the medium of shouting as loudly as we can. Yeah! Come on, comedians! Here is GEMMA BEAGLEY!
Hey, so I never knew how to get into or out of this routine, so let's just fucking go with it. So if I was to stick some chocolate into my rectum, then by process of elimination, I've worked out which chocolate bar would be the best one to use. So first of all, let's disregard the double one straight away. That's your Twix, your Twirl, your Time Out, Kit Kat. Who wants to go through with it twice? I wouldn't know whether to do it side by side or one after the other, and that's a whole different discussion. Next one, Toblerone. Too many sections. Other chocolates I wouldn't choose for the same reason. Dairy Milk, Yorkie, Galaxy, in the bin. Next thing, you then have the bumpy chocolates that might cause abrasion. So that's your Lime Bar, Picnic, Double Decker, Toffee Crisp, that sort of thing. Get rid. And then the flimsy ones that will probably just break on its way in or out and will just leave you all over the place. So that's your Curly Whirly, also too long. Milky Way, Caramac, Dime Bar, Milky Way. Out it goes. Essentially, what I'm looking for is something that isn't bumpy, isn't divided into sections, and isn't flimsy. And I thought the flake might do the job, but then I figured that it wouldn't even get up there and then it just break before it gets a chance to melt inside. But I think I'm onto something with the flakiness. So if I could actually get the flake up there, then it would just crumble and fall out, and that's a good thing. And then I got it, my eureka moment. A flake-based sweet that can sustain entry without crumbling. It's a bloody Galaxy Ripple. It's a bloody Galaxy Ripple. Not large in girth. There's only one of them, unlike a twirl. And with the heat from one's hands, the chocolatey coating will melt slightly, helping it to ease into the rectum. And then once inside, the aforementioned chocolate coating will completely melt, fall out, and take the crumbly flakes with it instantly. Now, I'll be honest with you, I did that routine quite a few times at the age of 29. I wasn't very comfortable, and here I am at 40, feeling hugely uncomfortable, and now it's on the internet. So that's great. Dave the Cat, see you later.
Give her a clap, give her a finger maybe, I don't know, let her know. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Let her know. My goodness, we've come a long way since 2008. Look at us, all locked up on our own. Great, isn't it? I've been doing a bit of at the beginning of all this coronavirus stuff and all the talk about masks. I wasn't up for wearing a mask. I didn't think it was wasn't for me, and I wasn't going to do it. And it's still voluntary, and I'm still not sure about masks. And I'm starting to see that maybe I should be wearing a mask when I go out. And I've been doing a bit of research on the internet, and there's a lot of different masks out there, lots of different masks you can choose, sort of fashion masks and medical masks and all sorts. And I've decided what my mask of choice will be, and it's a Freddy Krueger mask. I shall only be wearing it to Tesco's, obviously. And so we ordered one on the internet. I just want to show you. So I was going to do this joke. It's not that good a joke, and I wasn't going to do it. And we got the mask, and I realised I looked like Freddy Krueger. And I said to Shirley, Shirley, I look like Freddy Krueger. And what did you say, Shirley?
I said no. It's probably that you look like the actor who plays Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. And then what did you do?
Yeah, I looked it up, and it's not the actor that you look like. It's Freddy Krueger.
No, anything like the actor, just like Freddy Krueger.
It's Freddy Krueger.
But at least Freddy Krueger doesn't wear a hat.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get on with some comedy. Start the clapping, start the cheering, start the shouting, start the whooping. I want more whooping. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put the next act on until all the comedians in the dressing room are completely crazy, completely wild. Come on. Get yours. Come on, Adam Larter. What are you doing? Come on, Jimmy, get your fingers out here. Come on, Tequila. We're doing it. Paco's doing it. Dan's doing it. That's what the station, baby. Mr. Stacey. Adam! Come on, Stacey.
Guys, stop. I haven't got a lot of time. I'm isolating. I'm in the Downing Street wine cellar, right? And I've been here now for 11 months. And I'm running out of places to shit, right? The other day, I crapped in Richie Sunak's briefcase. But I covered my tracks with a post-it note saying "Love from Sajid." Do you remember him? He's the one who looks like somebody drew facial features on the bottom of an egg. Right? Pissing, that's much easier to get away with, right? I just use the empty wine bottles and then re-rack them. The Chateau Neuf de Pape that Michael Gove drank with his puffin steak wasn't the vintage that he was expecting. But nobody investigated it. So either Chateau Stacey de Piss is proper vintage, or Gove has spent so long talking shit, he's ruined his palate. Right? The other day, I snooped in Dominic Cummings' office. He was out. And I found a box of top secret files, really big font. He must have shit eyesight. Anyway, those conspiracy theorists, they're all fucking right. Tony Maurice was right. Apparently, right, we're governed by lizard people, and they control us using unspeakable methods of rubbish bureaucracy and ineffective leadership. Tony Blair, okay, well, he wasn't one, but he was such a cunt, they made him an honorary member. Diana is one, but she can't remember it. And Jeremy Corbyn, well, he's not. He's actually a reanimated walking stick covered in meat, and no one can understand how he can talk. But anyway, guys, I've got to go now because unlike some of the wine in here, yeah, this act has not aged well. Bye.
Send him some messages. Let him know what you think. Send him some love hearts. Send him some claps. Send him some cheers. The fabulous Mr. Dan Adams, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I've got to tell you something. Tonight, absolutely none of the comedians at all are celebrating a birthday. None of them are celebrating a birthday. And if any of them were, I wouldn't tell you because they wouldn't want you to know. But none of them are. None of them are having a birthday at all. Yeah, not a bit. Let's please welcome to the stage one of the comedians who's definitely not celebrating a birthday. It's Sakisa!
Thanks for having me on this Thursday. It's just a Thursday. Nothing special about today. Just a Thursday. I I wasn't in the same class as everyone else on this bill, but I'm very honoured to be on it. I was behind the bar working, watching all these amazing comedians do what they were doing best, which was attempting to make people laugh. And I looked at them and I thought I could do that. It took me 5 more years to do it, but yeah. So I just figured I got asked to do this because I figured Shirley realised there was only Gemma on the bill and she can't just have one woman on the bill. So she had to get another woman on the bill. So here I am. So I figured I'd tell you a couple of the first jokes I ever told when I was at the CAV. When obviously working at the CAV was very interesting. I had a lot of people come to the bar asking ridiculous questions. So I find London people, especially, they don't like to admit when they're broke. Like this one particular woman, she came up to me and she asked me for a glass of lemonade. I said, it's £2.90. She looked in her pocket, looked in her wallet and realized she did not have enough money. So she asked me for a glass of water. I said, fine, no problem, because I'm nice. Went and got a glass of water. She said, can I get a slice of lemon in it? I said, fine, no problem, because I'm nice. She said, can I get another slice of lemon in it? So I'm like, you want 2 slices of lemon? She's like, yes, please. Then I see her reaching for the sugar. I said, bitch, are you making lemonade? Not on my watch. Not on my watch. No. But as everyone knows about me, I'm very open. I'm a very open person. I'm very open, especially with who I date. Like I dated this guy who was really, really posh. And I say really, really posh. Met him in Camden, like really, really posh. Like he didn't know who Beyonce was. Thought she was a type of dog. But the first time we had sex, his personality completely changed. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. He was coming through the door with a bucket of chicken, baggy trousers on, fitted cap on. I was like, where are you coming from? He was like, yo, bop to the shop. Golden Wonder, what flavour? Salt and vinegar, cut from Bravo. Freight for my sister, 10 BH and a packet of Rizzler. Dash at the shop, all in the Zender. Kick him in the teeth and pay him later because I got a tick on my new night trainer. I was like, I'm not dating white people again. Not on my watch. No. That's a lie. We all know dick is dick. Okay, anyway. Anyway, thanks, guys. Save the calves. Donate. Thank you. Enjoy your night.
Virgin from Sakisa. Let her know what you think. Send us some messages. Send us some love. Don't send her any birthday messages at all because it's not anybody's birthday tonight at all. Thank you very much. It's time for another act. What are you giggling at? You were just giggling at your drink. Yeah. This is what happens in lockdown. Just giggling at our own drink. Let's get the next act on, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together with some clapping, some cheering, some hurrahs, some yays, some woos, some ahs. It's Mr. Stevie Gray. Come on, Stevie.
Yay! Hey everyone. So when I first gigged at the CAV, the Arctic Monkeys were singing songs that I could relate to, songs about getting chucked out of nightclubs, that kind of thing. Today, there are multimillionaires talking about putting hotels on the moon, and I'm here in my rented house. So this is my song, the middle-aged Arctic Monkeys, what they were doing if their lives went as badly as mine. Now I'm the Mardy Bum. I used to get chucked out of nightclubs, now I'm doing the school run. Life went fast, it really isn't fair. I'm going bald, but I've got a hairy nose and greying pubic hair. Save the CAV, everybody, save the CAV. I know that I'm northern and I like to moan, but I am 37 years old, I'm furloughed at home, paying off my student loan. And yes, I'd love to ask you all a question. How can a chunky Kit Kat give me indigestion? And I'm on the fast for days. And if you think I couldn't get much sadder, I know I won't get on the fucking housing ladder unless I do something drastic. So I'll do something drastic. Yeah. I'll kill off my parents to get a deposit. Kill off my in-laws to get a deposit. I'll go on Love Island to get a deposit, yeah. I'll do clinical clinical trials to get a deposit. I will sell all my organs to get a deposit. I shag Abby Weinstein to get a deposit. I'd eat a wet eye in Wuhan to get a deposit. I'd stick a flake on my fanny to get a deposit. I'd eat a pizza with Prince Andrew to get a deposit. I'd kill Carol Baskin to get a deposit. I'd have to buy an old castle. That's my fucking eyesight. Get a deposit. I'll never get a deposit. Yeah.
Woo! Guys, come on, let me know what you think. When this was thumbs up, give it some claps. It's Mr. Stevie. Great. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for indulging us this evening. That was a trip down memory lane. Cavendish Arms, 12 years ago, our first Comedy Virgins performers. When we started organising this, we had no idea what was going to happen. We had no idea. When we first started about getting people back together, we had no idea that we'd all end up locked away and viruses and everything else. And we had no idea that the Cavendish Arms was probably going to have to close. So the nostalgia was wonderful. We need to raise some money. We are losing money every week and we can't open. When we can open, we're not going to be allowed many people in the pub. We're going to have more staff to keep it clean. All you performers that performed tonight and anybody that's watching that's performed, you've had a chance to do it. You've had a chance to try comedy for the first time. That's a wonderful hobby. You've had a chance to start careers. Can you please help make sure that people in the future have a chance to start careers? So if you're performing tonight or if you're watching, please give some money to our crowdfunder. We've been going for 2 days. We need to raise £20,000. We've got 10,000 nearly already, which is brilliant. Comedians that are performing tonight, if you could write to people that you know, not just comedians, ask people, say you started out there, ask people to donate £1, £2, £3, preferably 50. I'll keep talking. I keep going on about the money until Shirley kind of basically, I'll just keep asking, can you please give us some money? We need money so we can have jokes and money. They go, we can't do it without, we need your help. And if we haven't got your help, we won't be able to do it at all.